Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Chat podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Mark. Today, we're diving into something super practical. 50 daily life English phrases you can use all the time.
Right. And instead of reading a boring list, we're going to use these phrases naturally in a conversation, so you can hear how they work. So, how's it going, Mark?
I'm doing all right, just a little tired, but better late than never. I woke up late and rushed around, but I made it.
Same here. And earlier, before we started recording, I told you, take your time, no pressure. Because I was still getting my notes together anyway.
Yeah, and that helped a lot. Whenever someone says, take your time, it just relaxes you instantly. And then I replied, sounds good, which I realize I probably say every single day in different situations.
I say it all the time too. It's just such a natural phrase. Not too strong, not too formal. Like earlier today, when you texted me. Let me know when you're ready. It felt super natural for me to just say, sure, I'll be ready in a minute. Those are the tiny phrases that make daily conversations feel smooth.
Exactly. And speaking of that, I think, give me a minute might be my most used phrase ever. I say it when someone calls me, when someone knocks on my door, when I'm getting ready to leave the house. Basically all day long.
Totally. And sometimes I soften it even more by saying, hold on a second. Especially when I'm multitasking. Like if I'm cooking and someone asks me something, I'll be like, hold on a second. Let me just turn this off first.
Yeah, and then there's, I'll be right back, which I feel like we've all said since childhood. You say it when you leave a room, when you step out to grab something, when you need a moment. It's just always useful.
Another one I use constantly is, I appreciate it. I feel like as adults, we say that a lot more, especially to be polite. Whether it's someone sending you information or helping you carry something, saying, I appreciate it, just sounds warm and real.
Definitely. And one I say all the time in conversations is, got it. Whenever someone explains something or gives instructions, that's my go-to. It's short but very clear.
Same. And when I agree with someone's plan, I often say, that works for me. It's so flexible. You can use it at work, with friends, or even when making plans with family.
Speaking of plans, I notice that when we try to schedule podcast recording times, we always end up saying things like, what time works for you? It's just one of those phrases you don't think about because it feels so natural.
And then one of us always says, let me check my schedule, which makes us sound way more organized than we actually are.
That is true. And if the time doesn't work, we usually say, can we do another day? Very simple, but perfect for daily communication.
And sometimes, when someone suggests something, you can respond with, yeah, that's fine, or that should be okay. These phrases are soft and friendly. Not too strong, not too formal.
Exactly. And when making final decisions, I sometimes say, I'm good to go, just to show I'm ready. That one works in so many situations.
Oh yeah, definitely. And when I don't understand something, my go-to is, what do you mean? I think it's one of the most important phrases for learners. It's simple, natural, and helps keep the conversation going.
Another one that's super useful is, sorry, I didn't catch that. It sounds a lot more natural than, can you repeat please? especially in daily conversations.
And then you have those short reaction phrases that make conversations feel alive. Like, no way, when you're surprised. Or, really? When you want someone to continue talking.
Yeah, and those phrases show engagement. They're small, but they make the conversation feel real and friendly.
Another super common one for everyday life is, can you do me a favor? I use that when I need small help, like someone holding a door or checking something for me.
And the typical reply is, sure, what do you need? That's such a friendly way to respond.
You know, something I've been noticing as we talk is that these phrases come up naturally, without us even trying. That's actually the best way to learn them, hearing them inside real conversations.
Exactly. And when you use them often, they become automatic. You don't even realize you're using them anymore.
Yeah, they become part of your daily rhythm. So, Mark, you were saying earlier that you use, let me think about it, a lot, right?
Yeah, especially when someone asks me something I'm not ready to decide on. And once I've made the decision, I'll say, I've made up my mind, which actually feels quite grown up to say.
It does. And honestly, we've already used so many phrases today, and we didn't even try to list them. They just came up naturally while we were talking.
That's exactly the idea. Showing them in real use so the listeners hear how they flow.
Yeah. So, Mark, I'm curious. What phrase do you think you use the most in your daily routine? Like the one you say every single day without thinking.
Okay, I think I've got it. Honestly, the phrase I use the most is probably, give me a second. I say it constantly. When I'm grabbing my keys, answering a call, opening the door, literally everything. It just buys me a tiny bit of time, and it doesn't sound rude at all.
Oh, yeah, I totally get that. I'm the same. And I think the one I use the most is, hang on. You know when someone says something and you're not quite ready to respond? Or you're brushing your hair or trying to multitask? I just say, hang on. And it's like a quick pause button.
Exactly. It's funny because these phrases aren't complicated at all, but they're some of the most important ones you'll ever learn. They solve problems in conversation. They help you keep the flow without sounding confused or stressed.
Definitely. And something else I noticed is that people often say, I'm not sure, when they're thinking. It's so simple, but it gives you space to gather your thoughts without feeling pressured.
Yes. And sometimes I soften it even more by saying, I'm not totally sure, but, and then I continue. It sounds gentle and natural.
Exactly. And when something makes sense to me, I usually say, oh, that makes sense. It's such a friendly way to show you understand without sounding too formal.
I use that too. Or if I disagree politely, I'll go with, I see your point, but it's a nice way to soften the disagreement.
That's a great one. I also like using, it depends. That phrase solves everything. Whenever someone asks a complicated question, you can start with, it depends, and you're safe.
And then you can explain. It's such a good everyday phrase. And when someone tells me something helpful, even small, I usually say, thanks, that helps. It's warm, it shows appreciation, and it keeps the conversation positive.
I love that one. And for closing conversations, I often use, all right, sounds good, especially when making plans. It's simple, but it wraps things up nicely.
I also say, let's do it, when I'm agreeing to something. It feels enthusiastic without being dramatic.
Yes. And another daily life one is, Don't worry about it. We use it so much when someone apologizes for something small.
Oh, absolutely. And the short version, no worries, is even more common. I think I say it like 20 times a day.
Same here. You know, it's interesting how these little phrases make English feel like English. They're the glue that holds conversations together.
Exactly. You could know hundreds of vocabulary words, but if you don't use these simple daily life phrases, your English won't sound natural.
Right. And once these phrases become automatic, speaking becomes so much easier. You don't have to stop and think all the time.
And you actually sound more confident, even when you're unsure. It's like they help smooth the conversation out.
Totally agree. So, talking about daily phrases, what's one phrase you think every English learner should start using more often, even if it feels simple?
Okay, I've got it. I think the phrase every learner should start using more often is, "Can you say that again?" Honestly, people underestimate how useful it is. Instead of pretending you understood, you just ask. Native speakers ask it all the time.
That's so true. And nobody finds it strange. It actually shows confidence, like you're willing to keep the conversation clear instead of guessing. I also like using, "What do you mean?" It sounds natural, and it helps avoid misunderstandings.
Yes, exactly. And another helpful one is, "Let me check." We use that constantly in real life, checking your phone, your schedule, your bag, anything. It sounds relaxed and it buys you a moment to think.
Definitely. And for me, a phrase I use every day is, "I'm on my way," even if I'm still putting on my shoes. It just lets people know you're coming, and it's one of those phrases that makes conversation smoother.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes I add, "I'll be there soon," even if soon means, well, not that soon.
Yeah, soon is very flexible in English, but it works. Another daily one I find super helpful is, "It's up to you." When someone can decide, you just put it in their hands. It keeps things simple.
I love that. And when I need someone to wait a moment, I often say, "Just a minute," even if it's not exactly a minute. It's a soft way of saying, "Hold on."
And I say, "I'll let you know," all the time. It's perfect for situations when you're unsure and don't want to commit.
Yes. And the cousin of that is, "I'll think about it." You're basically saying no, but politely.
Exactly. And when something's surprising, I always say, "No way!" Or, "Are you serious?" Those are so natural in everyday English.
Absolutely. And when I'm agreeing strongly with something, I usually say, "Exactly," or "That's true." It just keeps the conversation connected.
You know what I also like? That works for me. It's such a simple phrase, but really helpful when making plans.
Yeah, that one makes life easier. And I think phrases like these help learners sound more natural because they're practical. We actually use them every day.
Exactly. They make you sound more like you're thinking in English instead of translating your own language word by word.
And once these become automatic, conversations start flowing smoother, and you stop worrying about sounding perfect.
Right. You just speak, and the language takes care of itself. So, any last daily life phrase you feel like people forget but should use more?
Actually, yeah. I think people should use, "I appreciate it." It's a bit more genuine than just, "Thanks," and it makes the other person feel good.
Oh, that's a really good one. It sounds warm, kind, and very natural in everyday English.
Exactly. And honestly, using these small phrases can make a huge difference in how confident you sound.
Absolutely. And the more you hear them, the more naturally they come out. It just takes practice and a lot of real-life conversations.
Speaking of conversations, throughout the whole point of learning these daily life phrases, they're not for exams. They're not for textbooks. They're for those little moments where you're just living life, talking to people, and trying to express yourself clearly.
Yes, exactly. And if you use even 10 of these phrases during your day, you'll notice how much more natural your English feels. You won't sound robotic, and you won't have to stop every few seconds to translate in your head.
And remember, you don't need to memorize all 50 right away. Just pick a few that you like, use them every day, and let them become part of your English. Then add more when you're ready.
That's the secret to fluency. Small steps, repeated often. You don't have to stress about speaking perfectly. Just keep talking, keep practicing, and keep exposing yourself to natural English.
And of course, keep listening to us, because that helps too.
Definitely. And if you enjoyed this episode of the English Chat podcast, don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one.
And feel free to write in the comments which phrases you use the most in your daily life. We love seeing your progress.
Thank you for spending this time with us today. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep growing your English, one simple phrase at a time.
We'll see you in the next episode. Bye!